All right, we are back live this week. We are back live with Eric Malone of Fastest Cars in the Dirty South, fastest 256 team around that we all know of. So anyways, Eric, thanks for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being here. And actually, we also have my dad in as a special co-host tonight. How you doing, Dad?
Oh, I'm great.
Glad to have you here.
Dynamite drop in, Monty.
So, Eric, for those who don't know, about you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have been fortunate enough to have a TV show, which is Fastest Cars in the Dirty South, that is playing right now on Motor Trend app. It airs every Friday morning and every Wednesday on Motor Trend Cable. You can also watch it on there. We are in our third season right now.
Right, third season. Yeah, that's. I've been watching quite a bit in the past 3 years. Things have progressed. Whether you race other teams or race, have friendly grudge races amongst yourselves.
Right.
What's one of your most memorable grudge races that you've had? In just this time frame that everybody has seen unfold in the past, 3 years.
The best one to me was the Dodge Dart, where we had Dita Ford, which is the owner of PTC, daughter,
Okay.
Performance Toll Converter. Reason why this one was a good one for me because she wanted to start racing, and Dad didn't want her to start racing. So the mom, I actually worked for Performance Toll Converter. So the mom decides to tell me, she said, this went on for about a month, her trying to get in a car to race. So the mom calls me one day and said, look, go get one of the cars, come to the track. We're going to show Dita how to make some passes. Well, when it done that, actually, Kenny, the owner, actually had came and got the car. We all went to the track. She made a few passes. We went to the track. After that, to her first race, she won it. Her second race, she won it. But what didn't nobody know is after she raced for about 6 months, I think it was, she started telling me she wanted to go faster.
Right. Well, you always want to go faster, right?
Everybody wants to go faster. So we built her the gold Camaro, which we made it into a 6.0 car. The first car was a 7.0 index car. We went to a 6.0 car.
Now, for those that don't quite understand, 7.0, 6.0, is that 6 seconds or 7 seconds in the 8th mile?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep, that's right. So we done that. She drove. She had fun with it. Well, she's still telling me she wanted to go faster.
Right.
So we decided we was needing something to do on the show, and we was looking for another car. Well, the Dodge Dart, he's had this car for like 4 or 5 years, and it was gonna be a cool car, but I was gonna take it and make a small tire car out of it and put a Chevrolet motor in it.
Right.
And
Well, that's cheaper. Building the Chevrolet motor is probably
yes,
cheaper than building the Mopar, ain't it?
yeah, a whole lot
But,
cheaper, a whole lot cheaper.
but I think I've heard it's like 3 times as much to build a Mopar.
The Mopar, yes, it's a whole lot more money. Um, so in this process, I thought about it. I said, well, how can we build this car and we get PTC to pay for it? So what I decided to do, I talked to Kenny and I said, we want to build your Dart. We're not going to charge you anything to build it, but you got to furnish the parts. He said, okay, well, I'll do that. I said, but there's a trick to it. The trick is I get to pick the person that drives it.
Okay.
He said, okay. So I said, now, he said, I don't want to put a Chevrolet motor in it. I want to put a Mopar motor in it. I said, that's fine. Well, this was another big deal for us. That car was everybody that got Mopar, there's very few that sprays nitrous on a Chrysler engine.
Okay.
And my deal was, we're going to find out why. so we actually put a 572 cubic inch big block Mopar in it with Power Glide. I only had one other guy that races actually Dodge, and that was Andy Mays.
Right. He's got that purple car, isn't it? Or pink?
He's got a red Challenger that he runs small tire with. But he got a few cars. But yeah, he's from Nashville area. But he had been like 530s or something like that in the car, pretty fast, and he's won a lot of records and stuff with it. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be the perfect guy for us to race. One thing about a Mopar guy, when you get a Mopar guy, they 100% Mopar. So this guy didn't believe in a Power Glide transmission and all this stuff.
Right.
He still had a torque flight transmission and stuff in it. Well, what we did, we put our car together with a 572 big block, got the adapter, put a Power Glide behind it, got Nitrous Express to put a fogger on it. We got it running. Once we got it running, we thought of a name of it, and because the car was so ugly and dirty, they come up with the name Dirty Dart.
Okay.
But this car is probably one of the nicest cars we got. If you ever was to get up on it and look up under it and in it, this car is 25.5. Very nice car.
Wow,
So,
that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, it's a real nice car, and it looks like just looking at it, you can't tell it. So when it came down to actually getting ready to run the car, Kenny actually got word that I was gonna put Dita in the car. And oh yeah, so this didn't go real well. He said he wasn't putting her in it. Well, the boss lady, which is her mom, said if Eric makes a pass in that car and Eric says it's good, she's driving it. So we get to the track. I made him motor pass. It ran really good on the motor, straight. And the next night, it rained us out that night. The next night, we actually put Mikey in the car, which Mikey drives everything. Mikey is like the guy on TV that eat everything. This guy drive everything.
That's
right. Right.
Yeah. So we put him in the car. We turned the nitrous on. First pass, it run. We ran it to 330, and we had the clocks on. We run to 330. Well, it went like a 540 in the eighth at like 106 mile per hour. I come back. Oh yes, I'd come back. We turned the clocks off. I said, this car's getting ready to fly. So we come back. We made a full pass. Just an easy pass. She went 520 in the eighth. Well, he did. He went 520 in the eighth. Well, we started negotiating the race. And we told Dita, if you're not scared, if you're scared of it, do anything crazy, just let out of it. We can come back and do it again. Well, the first pass she made in the car, she went 518 at 138. And the boss man didn't even come down there to make her. He was so sick he couldn't even watch her. So we come back, cooled everything off, checked everything, and they got ready to race each other. I turned it up just a little bit.
Right.
She's a she's a natural. She killed Andy Mays on a tree. She went 509 at 138. So
Woof,
within
that's
two
cooking.
passes, yeah, within two passes, she had done went fastest she ever been. And he come down there and watched her. I said, she's a natural, she got it. And since then, that car is basically one of our best cars. This car um will go down the track most time with nobody. I don't care if it could be, we all have been to the track testing, and it's track temperature 120 degrees or something like that. All us go out there and knock the tires off, and the dart goes shoo, right down.
That thing just
uh,
goes right on down Broadway.
yeah, yeah. But it's done real good for a all out motor that we started spraying nitrous on.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to hear. So, what with that kind of on that front, what got you into motorsports, specifically drag racing?
Well, as I was younger, my dad used to street race a little bit and build cars. I remember riding around with him, but he kind of quit and started raising his kids. It's five of us, five boys, and my uncle took over, and I would be, back in this time we lived in Indianapolis, Indiana, and when I would come back down here visiting, family to Alabama, my uncle would be racing, and he had an old Galaxy Ford with a 460 in it. This thing wouldn't spin a lick, but he was out running little GT Mustangs and stuff on the street with it.
Right.
And from that point on, I just, man, I everything I did, I wanted to race. If I had a go kart, I raced the other go karts. Everything,
Yeah.
Yep.
everything from that point on, was I just knew right then I wanted to race. I really would have, I thought about it would be real cool to be on TV one day racing. Never in my lifetime did I actually think I would have my own TV show.
So Eric, going back to, like you said, your dad was, obviously into street racing. I think we all have to give things up for and set things aside once in a while when we're raising family, because family always comes first.
That's right.
I want to know a little bit about your background, besides obviously getting, some motivation from the old man to get into it. Do you have an educational background or vocational background to do what you're doing?
Well, I'll be honest with you. My background come from every male uncles, cousins, everything, some part or another worked on cars. So I always loved it. I mean, when I was probably 13 years old, I could actually build a small block Chevy engine. You know, I could it was just, I don't know, I just had a feel for it. I mean, I loved it.
Yep.
And that all come from my dad. My dad started us all out. Every one of my brothers um is mechanical incline. They don't do it much now, but every one of them know how to do it. And that come from him, from his dad. Basically back then wasn't a whole lot of people had plant jobs around here. My dad was always self-employed. He always did mechanic work, um, body work. Um, Used to sell used engines. That was the real big thing he did. He used to go up north where we used to live in Indianapolis, and he'll buy 18-wheeler load of motors, and he'll bring them down here and sell them, and done real good with it.
That's very cool. That's some good entrepreneurship. I've been self-employed for 25 years. There's
Right.
goods and there's bads, but
It is, yep.
I'm mechanical, but I'm a woodworker by trade. So I've just gotten back into this since this car that behind me here was my dad's that he got in 69. And
Oh,
it was parked in 79. My dad passed away about 17 years ago. So I finally got to restore it. And with the helps of people like Daniel and other people in our group.
Yes.
But so, and I don't have brothers. So let me ask you a family question with brothers. So did any of, besides, maybe not getting into racing, but when you were growing up, was there competition that helped fire you a little bit inside, give you that competitiveness?
No, not for us with my brothers. We all we worked and did. We was a close family. I got my dad was that one that always took like we get I think, what did I have? I had a Dodge Dart at one time that he done. He put a 360 motor in it for me, and then my brother, he got a Chevy. He bought him a Chevy too with a small block 400 in it. Well, the time I remember competing is one time me and him got up beside each other, and he beat me in that dang 4-door Chevy too with a 400 small block. It was a real sleeper back then. 'Cause that thing, I don't know how fast it was, but it was fast for a stock car.
Absolutely. Well, and those Chevy 2s, I mean, they were a super small, light car too.
Yes, yep, they
So
was.
is there any of your family today, whether your kids, any part of your family involved in the racing that you're doing?
My son, I got a 15 I got a 15-year-old son that this is his car behind me. This guy, I don't even know what to say about it. He's way beyond anything I ever imagined. He come to me at about 5 years old. I was going to our little local track. I go down there and just play around with my little street car. Well, he kept coming to me, Dad, I want to take my little four-wheeler down there and make a pass. He did this for about a month because I just ignored it. And really, when I thought about it, he was really wanting to do it. So I took him down there on the four-wheeler. Me and my brother, we took him down there, and he wore my brother out. They made so many passes that my brother quit, and it done got dark. And my son, at 5 years old, you see the lights coming back down the return road on the four wheeler. He was wide open, and he was making passes. From that right there, that following Christmas, I bought him his first junior dragster, and I took him, I put him in it, cranked it up, and man, he went to pieces. He went to crying and hollering. He didn't like all the vibrating. I said, okay, no problem. I said, we done bought it. It's yours when we get ready. We're gonna hang it up in the roof and you can just look at it and it'll be out of the way. No, we ain't gonna hang it up in the roof, Daddy.
Right.
So this is where it gets good. His mama put a pillow in the seat of it to kind of help him sit up. But when that pillow was the game changer, he couldn't feel that vibration. The next day we went to the track, and this actually is how I met Brent Arnold, because Brent Arnold had a daughter racing juniors. And we went to the track. He would drive down the track and come back. He wouldn't go fast. I don't know how fast the dragster was for real. And I'm a nervous wreck. I had before the end, before I get to that, I would take him in front of my house and I would let him hit the gas and pull the kill switch when he get to my mailbox. I drilled that in him before I let him make it pass. So I made it where if it didn't feel safe, you just cut it off. We'll come get you. Well, we get to the track. He makes a pass down the track. He just drives it around like he's driving. Well, he sees this little girl there, and which was Brent Arnold's daughter. He said, "I want to race that little girl, Dad." I said, "She going wide open." Well, I still want to race her. Well, he's 6 years old, just turned 6. He made his first pass. This is a 60-foot short track. He made his first pass. She killed him on a tree, and he made a pass. And across the scoreboard, it went 10:06, 58 mile per hour. And I like to had a heart attack. 58 mile per hour, 6 years old. I was like, his mama is getting ready to come up, she getting ready to get me. So he's back around there. She was on the top end. I always had her on the top end just in case something happened. She was down there with it. He drove back. He said, "Daddy, I like that." So
does that make you feel good knowing that you've passed the legacy on? You know, I mean, I know how it is for me with Daniel, seeing what he's done with his car and everything.
And it's a feeling you would. I actually have 2 daughters, and man, it's a feeling like you wouldn't believe. So that next weekend, we went to a little local track, which was Fulton, Mississippi. They have a kids class where you can bring golf carts, 4-wheelers, and they give away first and second place or trophies. And I took him down there. He said, "Daddy, I want one of them trophies." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, you're going to have to be good on the tree." I said, "You're going to have to let out of it if you're in front. It's bracket racing." Now, this is his second time down the track. He won that race.
Very
That
cool.
race, and I almost cried. That year, which I could show y'all, I got him up front. He either won or runnered up 30 something times. He's got 30 trophies he won in that year. And then we started doing a little grudge racing, and here lately, you know, we did a little grudge racing. I bought him another dragster. It would go like 6. It would run 680s in the 8th.
Okay,
And
that's cooking.
he was about, I guess he was about 8 or 9 years old by the time I got him going that fast. We done that until the last couple years. He kind of got bored with it, and I got this car out of the junkyard. One of my buddies gave it to me, and it was original. It's original Z28. I said, well, we're just gonna peel around on it, and then I got a 4th gen. I said, all my pieces off my car we put on it.
Right.
Well, we got it. Me and him worked on it, got it running. I took it to the track. He wanted to drive it. I wouldn't let him. I couldn't let him. And I mean, it didn't really make sense. The car wasn't as fast as a dragster, but it was a car. So I just couldn't let him drive it. I let one of my buddies, he drove it. Well, that about 2 months later, he finally got on me hard enough, got his mama involved. That's what did it. Got his mama involved. And I let him, we went to the track. I said, this was last year for last. I said, I want you to show me you can do a burnout. He done a burnout good. I said, okay, stage up, leave. When you see the shifter shift, let off of it. He done exactly that. He went like the car would run 690s. He done exactly that. He went I think he went like a 780. He come back. He said, "What you think?" He said, "I think you did good." Well, the next pass, I didn't tell him what to do, so you know what he done. He made him a wide open pass.
All the way down.
All the way down. He went 690. He come back, he went 690. So I slowed it down to 7-0, and we have not won a race yet, but he's runnered up 3 times in the last year. Radio Fest, which is one of the biggest races we have down here. It was 64 cars. He got down to 4. And boy, he was tore up. And I told him, I said, it just wasn't your day. He said, well, I wanted to win. I said, yeah, but look at it this way. The guy that beat you won the race. I said, you got to have luck too. I said, so it was his day. I said, yours is coming. So we done that. And here, the last couple months, he's done talked me into putting a little nitrous on it. So we made a full nitrous pass in it the other day, and I ain't gonna say how fast it went, but it's 60 foot at 125, and now I probably done ruined him for running Sedmos.
Well, once you go fast, you can't go slow.
I know it. But yeah, this guy, I can't beat him. I mean, I've been racing a long time. If I had to run 7-0 and I had to run him first round, he's good on the tree. He's done learned to drive on the top end. I guarantee you, if I go home right now, he's playing his game right now, and he's drag racing.
Okay, so then
Are there any other members of the 256 team that are involved like that with their kids that are doing that?
I got a new guy that's in with us right now, Daniel Dennis. Him and my son is actually been going back and forth with each other, racing each other. So he's in it pretty hard. The rest of them, they come and support, but you know, they parents ain't let them get away from what I've been doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the important thing then is he keeping the grades up to be in the racing?
He's been doing real well. He messed around and got a D about 3 months ago, and his mama stopped him. I went to PRI. He couldn't go to PRI with me. Just went the lights out. He couldn't go.
There you go.
But he's got his grades back up. But I had to keep in my mind, you know, that hey, he's still young and he got to go to school. Because if it wasn't for that, I probably would have him with me every time I move.
There you go. That's good. I like to hear about family and stuff, and we kind of talk about that all the time in our car club, because without the family support, you ain't doing none of this. You know, don't get me wrong, there are some guys that can do what we all do, and they're single 50, but a little bit of sadness in that because they got to have family to keep things moving along.
Well, I can tell you, when I don't, he actually he lines me up in my car, the prosecutor in my car, my personal car, and he lines me up. He takes care of the field, he takes care of the tires. I mean, his mom, my wife, she's there, she helped. So now when I can't, it's just like something missing if I ain't got him with me when I go to the track. And
right.
I'll be honest with you, I won't even go to the track if I ain't got him there for sure.
Now, I noticed that I've kind of noticed that you have a talent for cutting the light. What are some of your tips or methods to keep your skills sharp?
I normally put Mikey in my car. But you know, I have my days. Some days I can be really good, and some days I just can't find it. But you know, I also got to look at, I'm getting close to being 50 years old, even though I don't feel like it. But my eyesight, I had to get glasses this year. That I don't wear.
Here, I'll do this. I'm just a few months away from 50, and I got these. I know exactly how you're seeing, because all of a sudden I can't see shit.
Yeah, and it was just like it happened overnight. You know, I made a post. I put a picture with me wearing glasses on Instagram, and David Fireberger got on there. He said, "I feel your pain," so he was getting ready to get some too.
Yep.
You guys are just kids yet.
I'll tell you what, I was underneath the dash of my 55 because I had to get the return spring out. That the return spring for the clutch pedal is under the dash in a Tri-5, and so I had to take the speedometer, and so there I am I was trying to GoPro camera it to make a little video. I gave up on that because I ended up strapping the flashlight to my head, putting glasses on, because now everything within that foot of the face, I can't focus. And that's just awful. That's neat. I mean, but then maybe that's why guys stay married too, because you just can't see what comes up close to you.
I'm gonna let you have that one by yourself.
Right. Oh, that's too funny. Now you're in season 3. And I'll be honest, like I kind of told you before the show, like I try to catch as much as I can, but there's so much out there to catch every single season and stuff. What's let me ask you, what's your best 8th mile time?
Oh man.
It doesn't even have to be whether it's in the prosecutor or the executioner or a Black Mamba. I mean, it could be a completely different car.
Well, I would say my fastest 8th mile time, I've been 4:30s before.
Okay.
In the at 175 miles per hour.
Now, when you're in a car that's doing that kind of speed, do you remember, or maybe it's happened many times, where your heart kind of jumps, go, oh, that's fast. You know, even though you've been doing it a long time, you can get that feel like, man, that was a little bit extra.
Well, for instance, my car haven't been that fast, but I went turbo, and I would be honest with you. The last part of the track is faster than my car used to take off on nitrous.
Right.
My car has been over 170 at 3,400 pounds. And I actually, when I pull up to the starting line, I go to, hey, don't you do nothing crazy now. We need to go back and go home.
Yeah.
I go to talking to it, but yeah, I think it never bothers me after I make the pass. Most time, my nerves is before I make the pass.
Okay.
Sure do. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
After I make the pass, I'm looking like, oh man, that was a good one. Oh dang, I thought it was faster than
that. when you started racing, and obviously everybody just starts with the freaking the single motor, you know, the big block, the small block, and doing what you can. What was your first power? What's your first, or have you had different power adds like the blower, nitrous? But what was your first, and what was your favorite of what you've done so far as power adding?
Nitrous. Nitrous has been the best.
Okay.
I always been nitrous. I love nitrous. Man, it was just cheap horsepower, you know. You know, you could take a car that makes 500 horsepower, strap a kit on it, and it would, you know, it depends on how I like it. I mean, I've had cars that picks up a second and a half on the baller.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I used to really love that. But now I will be honest. This is my car that I got now. It's the first turbo car. And I'll be honest, it's beyond anything I ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. You know, my nitrous deal that I had in the car was 632 Big Chief, one carburetor, spraying this thing like 600. And then I put a 540 with 118 millimeter turbo on it, and it's conventional headed. I mean, basically, it's nothing kind of motor I got, you know. And this thing dyno 2100 to the rear wheels on like 30 pounds of boost.
Wow,
it is ridiculous. I mean, it is. And then my son is in the back of my ear every few minutes. I want to make a pass. Let me make a pass. I can, if you to leave the CO2 off, see it'll make a pass on like 4 pounds of boost. He said, you leave that off and it won't make a real fast pass, and I can make a pass. And I was like, no, it's still gonna it's still a run 130 something miles per hour. I said no.
I can still remember the first time I made a pass in Dad's car, and the way the transmission is set up, you know, if you wanted to, you can shift it clutchless. And I launched the car and I'm going to try and pull second gear on the thing. And it's, you know, you got to eat your Wheaties that morning or you ain't going to pull the gear. Anyways, I couldn't get the gear pulled, and, you know, and so the car's kind of darting to the left a little bit, heading towards the wall. And I'm pretty sure back there at the starting line, Dad was probably sitting there going, no, get out of it.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Now, did you ever, when you started out, did you ever run with a stick, you know, like your standard 4 speeds or anything like that? Or were you always automatic?
I've always been automatic. I had a 82 GT Mustang and it had had a junk 4-speed in it that used to tear up if you just thought about speed shifting it. And I went through like 8 or 9 of them transmissions before I went automatic. But yeah, I learned real quick. If you're running a car that's just as fast as you and you're changing gears, every time you change a gear, they will gain some on you.
Yep.
So
Well, I
was
think that goes a little bit with experience and pulling the gears and whatnot.
yes,
You know,
and pulling gears. That's right. But see, back then, I didn't have no good clutch. I didn't have no good shifter. So it was it was basically you gotta let you gotta let off at the shift, and that
now,
would hurt you.
that would probably help it if if you got back into stick shift racing at this point in time and got a
Oh
hold of
yes.
Hale
Oh,
Aronson or
oh yeah.
somebody,
Oh
most definitely.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They definitely got a whole lot better stuff you can use now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you got Paul Long over there at Long and G-Force. They set up some pretty killer transmissions over there. Probably handle
Yeah.
everything throw at it.
Yes. Yes. I heard about them.
It's only money. It's only money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do for full-time work?
I work at Performance Torque Converter. I am his mechanic. I work on this guy. His side job is race cars. So he's got about, if I had to guess, in all, he's probably got 500 race cars, street cars, NT cars, just reached cars that need to be restored. Well, I do a lot of road trips, picking them up, changing motors out of them. I do the stuff that he ain't, basically ain't got time to do. And I've been doing that for him since probably 95. I was actually started with him when he actually opened the business up.
You could kind of say that you're the curator of his car collection.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That honestly sounds like a pretty good gig. Just getting to work on all kinds of collections and cars and.
Well, you gotta, it was the funnest thing I ever did when I first started, but something that you do every day, it still becomes a job.
Yeah.
so then it got so it ain't near as fun as it used to be.
I understand that.
So now hey Craig, let's veer off of the cars for just a minute, and because he's down in Alabama, and we know that down south, they got lots of good food down there. And they may not smoke meats, much like you and I do, Craig. But what's like?
I already knew that. What doesn't even show up? Look at that stupid camera. All right, I knew the barbecue question was coming.
What's your favorite? Whether it's barbecue down where you're at, or maybe it's crawdads, crawdad boil or whatever. What's something down in your area? Your favorite.
My favorite thing. My favorite is a steak. I can, if it's a good steak, I probably could eat a steak every day of the week.
There you go.
But,
okay.
I love barbecue ribs and stuff like that.
Do you do a lot of cooking or grilling yourself, or?
I do not. I don't. But I got a guy that's on the show with us. Actually, is Andrew. He's on my team with us, and just like we just come back from Lights Out.
Okay.
We had a grill there, and he barbecued. He can cook.
Okay. So
sure do.
Do you ever eat sauerkraut?
No, I ain't never had that.
I might have to send you I'll send you a jar. It's kind of a acquired taste. I'm an old come from an old German family, and I've got an old family recipe, and every year I make about 30 or 40 jars of sauerkraut, and there isn't too many people that like sauerkraut, but
okay,
I like it. But Daniel and I are big barbecue guys. And I used to be more, but I had to start losing weight and watch my blood pressure. So I've laid off a little bit, but I'm like you, I could eat. And I used to be about 310 pounds, powerlifting, and I would eat, I'm not kidding, 2 steaks every day. And that's, and I'm not talking top sirloin or I'm talking just chuck steaks, whatever I could get my hands on for the money. Right. But I was eating red meat twice a day. And I love a steak, and the fattier the steak, the better it tastes.
The better, heck yeah. There you go.
that big.
I like the fat.
I love a big. I don't even care if it's a real thick steak, but I want that 1 inch of fat around the outside of a steak. And everybody I know cuts it off and throws away.
Yeah.
I eat it up with the steak. That's
no. When we go to steakhouse, my wife cuts hers off and throw it on my plate, and my son too. So I tear it up.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely.
Good flavor, that's for sure.
Yep, I love it.
Now, I'm assuming you're a charcoal guy then, if you like to grill for steak.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a difference from like a gas grill to a charcoal grill when you're doing a good steak.
That's right.
But speaking of steaks, and what have you seen? I mean, I'm sure it's the same down there, but like your beef prices gone through the roof this year too?
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. We went. I normally go to our local. Well, it's a steakhouse, Russell's Beef in Corinth, Mississippi. I normally go there and eat.
Now down in your area, is it kind of like up in New Jersey and New York? You know, it's a butcher on the corner, or is it? You know, it's just you
got your steak guy.
I got a steak guy. But, we go down there and eat steak. And last time I went, me and my wife, just me and her, 2 12-ounce ribeyes, and I think our bill was like $58.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And I was like, okay, it's time we just start cooking our own.
Yep.
So
no, you're right. Because my wife and I go out. We try to go out once a week, just as the two of us, because keep a date night alive. Right. And so we'll go out and we'll have just a couple simple drinks. And I don't want to eat a whole meal, and because you can't afford to eat out every Saturday night. It's ridiculous. Yes. So we go out and we get the nice place, and it's like they call it, get a plate of steak bites, and it's basically, I'm assuming, some sirloin that's chopped up. I got 8 little pieces, and it's like $18. And I look at my wife and I said, I've spent too many years behind the grill and the smoker to pay this kind of money for such little amount of food. And don't get me wrong, the flavor is good, and it's nice to be served, but I don't need it like that. And I just bought a half a cow here, about 6 weeks ago, about 6 weeks ago. And all said and done, it came to just about $5.05 a pound. And that includes hamburger, steaks, the roast, everything. And I brought home 250 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So that'll last me quite a while.
Right.
I love brisket. I haven't been to Mississippi, but I've been to Alabama. And I'll tell you,
Alabama.
Oh God, I knew you were going to ask me that. God, the 3M's got a plant down there, and I can't remember the name now.
3M. Decatur, Alabama.
Decatur.
Yes.
And
I'm like 30 minutes from there.
Okay. And so I went down there because my old neighbor moved down there, because the main 3M plant is right by me, of course, up here. And we went down there, and he goes, hey, this was before I was really into barbecue that much. And I was just learning. And he pulled over on the side of the road, and there was like an old camper with a sign that said barbecue. Yeah. And honestly, I don't think it would pass any health code, and out the big black guy comes out, and it was, I didn't even know what they're called, the burnt ends, comes out with these, and it was like $3, and it was a handful that would fill a half a ice cream bucket,
Yeah.
And that was the best tasting barbecue you can ever have. It's those little joints on the side of the road that have been there forever. That's good. And I know being in Minnesota, we're not known for barbecue, so I got to do the best we can. Most of the time when I go to a barbecue place, it's okay at best. It's not like I'm not braggable. So whenever I like to go on vacation, I got to hit a barbecue place, because I've got I can't say where I'm going in a couple days, but let's just say there's a little more vinegar tasting barbecue on the east side of these states. I can't say where I go because I don't want people to know yet where I'm heading. But I go to we go to the Tri-5 Nationals, because all of us have 55, 6 or 7 Chevys. So I stop in Kentucky, you know, we got to find at least one place to eat good barbecue. I've been to St. Louis. I've had good barbecue there. So it's, you got to do that. That's our kind of thing, you know, and that's why I knew it was coming tonight when I saw who was on, and I'm like, okay, you're going to be a Southern guy. He's going to like some kind of meat. I know it. Cause no offense.
Man,
I knew you weren't vegan.
Yeah. My wife tell me, I eat some vegetables, but man, I'm a meat guy. I just love meat.
Yep. I'm pretty much I'm a fighter for vegans because I'm going to eat the animal that's eating their food. I'm helping them out.
That's right.
Say, Eric, tell me a little bit more about all the cars in your fleet right now.
Right now we got Black Mamba, which is a Malibu we did. It's one of my buddy cars. This guy just left me this car. He never watch it race, never comes and look at it. I do whatever I want to do. It's just like it's my car.
Okay.
We got that one. I got the Hammer, which is a Mustang that we got. It's pretty fast. It's on the show. We got Britt Berryhill, which has the Bull, which is another Mustang, nitrous, big block. Which of course we got Mikey Smith. He's the oddball. He's the driver, but he's always got something strange, which he's got a Datsun with a late model 4.3 with a turbo on it. And also got another Datsun with a 3800 Grand Prix motor in it with a turbo on it. That's pretty fast. Then we got Richard Hale. He's one of the new guys. He's on the show this year. He got a Mustang and actually just bought a 4th gen Camaro too. Logan Randolph, he's on the show with us. He's got a late model Mustang, small block car, very impressive. It's real fast. I got a new guy that he hasn't been on the show yet, but he's gonna be our secret weapon. He's got a 4th gen. This is Scotty Brown. He's really fast. Jamie Wayne, he's our body man that does all our painting on the cars.
Now, how does he manage to turn the cars around? I mean, does he turn them around in a week or so, or is it more like a month? Because I know, like, TV and video, they make it, a lot quicker and whatnot. But I mean, because it seems almost like you say, oh, well, we're going to be back, like the Vega. I think you said, oh, we're going to be back in a week to pick it up. I mean, did he get everything done in a week, or was it?
I think the Vega, the Vega took, it took him about a week and a half, 2 weeks. But they was working on it every day, all day. Okay. And it turned out really well. But the night we filmed with it, he had just painted it that morning, and we was at the track racing it that night.
So it was still sticky, and if a fly landed on it, he was still leaving cracks in the paint.
Yes. The wonderful world of filming is when they see it done, they don't know nothing about it's got to dry. They don't know nothing about the car need to be tested for a race. When the car crank up, oh, we're gonna go film a race. So we won a lot of races. We got lucky because a lot of them we went and tested, we didn't even really test. We made one pass, it ran good. The next pass we raced whoever we had to race. So here this season we actually got I told them we're gonna have to start testing because there's we got lucky. It just don't happen like that. You just don't go to track one time and everything falls in your favor. So we did do some testing this time and everything.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Because everybody has their dream car. So if you had unlimited funds, what would your car be?
Man, what would it be?
I know for myself, since I was a kid, when Jenkins and Stahl were battling it out, I like Chevy 2s. That's why I raced one today. and because Jenkins' car and that. But that 66 Belvedere with the Hemi in it and a 4-speed of stalls, that was the car.
Well, I never really even thought about it for as a race car, but I am crazy about. I like 70 Chevelles. I'm actually kind of wanting one of them right now.
Big wheel possibilities, big wheels in that back end. That's what you need.
Yeah. But yeah, I like them. But for as the race cars, I've always liked Chevy. I would say a Chevy 2 for as a race car. Yep, 67 Chevy 2s were some good race cars, and they was I like them.
Oh, we could get along together real well.
Yeah.
I had a lot of Chevy 2s over the years.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I'll tell you obviously I've got my 55 and don't plan on selling it. Don't plan on buying another. It was hard enough to have the wife let me do one, but the one that I would like, and this is the strangest dream car, but it would be like that Chevy Nova 2 wagon, 2-door wagon, 4-door wagon. And the reason why, because it's a sleeper, right?
It's a sleeper.
And so to give you a little idea, this is probably going back about 12 years ago. We have what's known as Back to the 50s weekend here. It's like 13,000 cars. It's a large car show in June. And then we used to have what was called Carcraft, which was another big event in July. And I was coming home on a Friday and I was driving an Astro van, white, you're basically your white work van, right? And it was a piece of junk. And I had another guy working with me. And it was Friday and all these hot rods are on the road. And I see this guy in front of me and he's obviously a grandpa. And I mean, I'm guessing 65, 70 plus years old. He had his hat on, but it was all kind of hat, the old man up and off to the side.
Yeah.
And the wife
easy on us old guys.
Yeah. And the wife was sitting next to him with white hair and glasses. And she's, it's just the permed white hair. And, I'm not paying too much attention, but I roll down the windows because I like to hear the sounds of the old pipes, and I'm like, oh man, that sounds pretty good. So this kid comes up and next to him, and this was like I'm not good with age, but it was a Ford Mustang like that, the 2006 or 8 models right in there. It was kind of that retro look to the old, Eleanor look, but it's a new one. Anyways, this kid comes up alongside this old guy and he starts lurching next to him on the freeway. Now, this is a Friday. It's a 3-way interstate highway 94. And he's lurching him and the guy kind of waves him off, not a big deal. Well, we're getting to the very edge of the Twin Cities, which is right actually where 3M headquarters building is. And this guy's honking at him and this wagon ain't moving. And finally, you see the old man tips his hat, pulls it straight, looks over at the wife. And as he says something to her, she reaches behind her and puts on a 3-point harness. And I don't know if he opened up cutouts or whatever, because you could hear it get loud, but you could tell when he downshifted because the whole car just kind of went boom. You know how it's got that, got a hook. And I said to the kid next to me, because I had four-cylinder, I had that 4.3 V6 in the Astro loaded down. I ain't going nowhere to keep up. I said, and I said, this kid working for me, I said, I'm going to try to keep up. This is going to be good. And there gets to be a point right at the edge of town. There's an overpass and then it's wide open 11 miles to Wisconsin. And it was just like God parted the ways. And that Nova took off, that wagon, and the 2 taillights went whoop, and it was gone. And that Mustang didn't stand a chance, whatever that old man had. And I'm like, that's the perfect car because it was so sleeper. And I mean, I would dress the part. I would take Daniel's dad's clothes, put them on, and get looking old, and but that I think the sleeper, and that's probably just a different kind of analogy, but I want a sleeper car, something like my car looks nice. It's okay fast. It's just a cruiser, but I want something where nobody suspects it. That's the biggest thing.
We actually, Mikey, like I said, he's the odd one. He's always doing something somebody, wouldn't nobody expect. Well, he got a Chevy 2 wagon in his garage that he's working on the side, and that's his plan to make a race car, a sleeper.
Yep. Sure. And I mean, And to drop, I mean, I know everybody does it. You drop the the 6-liter LS or the 6.2 in it, and you're going to get, with little or no money, you're at 550, 600 horsepower.
That's right.
And that car is so light, and it'd just be so much fun,
Yep. That's right.
I only got room for one in my garage, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if you could have, a Tri-5 Chevy, what would it be? Or is it something that you may be looking at, possibly getting a Tri-5 Chevy in your fleet?
Would you ever?
Shoot, I don't know. I've never thought about that.
Okay, let me ask you, Daniel, put your car back up on your picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
No, so
That's a postcard, right?
Yeah, mine's a post.
okay, so now here, I got to go the other way. If you
hang on.
You see how I ain't got no post right here? See how that beautiful long hard top is just classy and cool, right?
I see that. Yeah.
And you see how Dan's got that post right there, so you can't even hang your arm out the window when you're a big guy like me.
Hey, that post is in there for drag racing purposes. It makes the car stiffer.
What? So here's a question: hard top or sedan? Which one's better?
Oh, you cut him off. He didn't even get to tell us what Tri-5 he wanted.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know on that one. I probably would take both of them if it.
It's all about the price, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, speaking of price, you got them hard tops. You got a lot more money into the stainless and trim on them things.
Yep, and that's why I'm going back and putting all this extra hydraulic clutch parts and everything else in now, because I spent all the money polishing the damn stainless. That's all right. So very cool. Eric, what do you think as far as the future outlook? What do you think what would you have done differently in getting started in racing if you could look back?
Man, I think I was one of them person that took every dime and put it into racing. I think I would have took my time, and I think I would be further ahead now. Man, at one time I spent, golly, it didn't matter. I mean, I went to racing today. I paid the bills when they was due.
Yep.
Or after it was cut off. And some of that right there, I wish I'd have just took more time with it. And actually, I think I could have went farther if I'd have played it more smarter than what I did, than like I'm doing now.
Well, I think hindsight's for everybody's always much more crisp and clear, because if I could go back 30 years and start my life over as an adult, it'd be the same thing, different ways to do things. But at the same point, it's the journey that you took to get where you're at that build your character and give you the knowledge. So like I got it right now, my son is 17. He's going to graduate high school this spring.
Right.
And, he's got good grades. He's also into cars. I just got him his first vehicle. It was a 99 POS Ford Ranger, and I didn't care if he got dented. But I teaching him how to drive stick, and he does really good at that.
Right.
But it's the things like when we're talking about trade school, vocational school, or getting a job or 4-year college, I tell them, well, here's what I would do. Here's what I wouldn't do, because I've already gone down that road. Don't do what I did wrong, try to be better. And I always tell them, I've told them for the last 3 years, because I'm not the best dad and I tried all the time and I don't have patience. But I said, my job is not to make you as good as me. My job is to make you better than me.
Better. That's right.
And that's why. So I tell people, if you've learned from your mistakes, I'm the smartest person you've ever met, because I've made a lot of mistakes,
I stay on my son the same way. I said, man, everything that I got going on right now, you are so much further ahead of me that you're running. You got a car that I only dreamed of having. I didn't have nowhere close to that till I was almost 30 years old or better. So
yep.
I said, everything I'm doing is really for you. I just want you to do right. And so far, he's been doing really well.
And every kid trips up once in a while.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's your job just to pick them up, smack them around, but get them back on the track the right way.
That's right.
Is there anything, with everything going on, is there anything that the cameras miss? Are there any off-camera issues with the groups or things like that?
Oh man. Well,
or things that you wish they would show that would give a different light to something?
I wish they would show more of the family of the guys that surround me. And what I mean about that is the guys that's around me, that's on my team, that's on the show. We not only race together and film together, but we go out to eat together. Our kids play together. We are 100% family. We be around each other more than we be around our real family.
Right.
And that would be cool if they would show more of that.
Do you think there's any growing animosity or anything with the other guys that don't get as much camera time or something like that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's all. Yeah, everybody wants that camera.
Understood.
They want to be in front of it. They don't care who they step on to get it.
Well, there's a lot of responsibility being the guy that's in front of it all the time too, because you can't turn off no matter what. You're a personality. You can't turn that off when the cameras are on, and you got to be on all the time. It's tiring.
It is. I thought it would be really cool to be the star of the show, but what I've learned here lately is the star of the show. That everything that happens, good or bad, even if it's from the camera part or from the cast or anything, some kind of way falls on my back all the time. There's never a down day for me. Every day there's something, but
right.
I just learned. I had to learn to, just look over it. Try to look over it.
That's a good attitude. I like that.
Yeah.
Just keep moving forward. Well, excluding, families and multiple number one spots on the list, and what are some of the other bright spots you may be proud of, maybe helping other teams or achieve goals or family or something in your faith, except, things like that?
Well, the best part of all this that I've done that I really look forward to is when I walk up to a kid that's seen me on TV that had never seen a star, never seen a celebrity, as they call me, which I feel that I'm not. But the look that gets on their face, and when I say I'll take a picture with them, man, it is crazy.
That's cool.
That right there is what keeps me going. I love doing the stuff with kids. You get on my Facebook page, you just about gonna see me with a picture with a kid every week.
Yep.
Sure is.
I'll tell you what, Dan's heard this story, and I went to Kentucky last summer for the Tri-5 Nationals, and I wasn't in exactly a great mood leaving the Nationals one evening, because you got to go from the, where all the cars are at the show back to the hotel. And I wasn't in a great mood because my car likes to overheat in that humidity. And we had only done, what do you think, Daniel? Maybe 10 shows on YouTube
I think
that time?
maybe 10 shows at the most, 10 or 15 at the most.
Yep. And so I pull up and I've got my son sitting beside me and my wife's in the back seat. And this guy yells over to me. He goes, "Hey." And I think he's going to say nice car or something like that. And I go, and I kind of give him the head nod. He goes, "You the guy from the Tri-5 podcast?" and I was like, I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "You're one of the 3 watchers." And
yeah, 3 watchers.
and he was like, he goes, "No, man." He said, "That's why we're here." He says, "I saw it on YouTube and we didn't know this event was here, so we came." Cool. So my son hands me a couple of because I've got our logo stickers, and I reach out the window and hand it to him, and he was super cool. And the best part is I'm driving back, and I think 5-10 minutes goes by, and I felt my kid just staring at me. And I look over, I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "You're like a celebrity."
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that at home all the time, but they be picking with me, my son and my wife both. Yeah.
Oh, she'll be. I know. She's like, "Oh, you think you're a celebrity? Get in here and do the dishes with me."
Yeah, that's right. Go outside and cut the grass.
Yep.
Yeah, but I went to not Baltimore. I went to Buffalo, New York, about 2 months ago. I picked up a car for work, and I stopped at Cracker Barrel, And I noticed some people was looking at me, but I that happens all the time. So I eat, I leave. I'm gone about 10 minutes. Somebody messaged me on Messenger. Hey man, it was really good to see you. You're a cool guy. I didn't want to interrupt you eating. I said, man, you should have came up to me, took a
Yep.
picture with me. You wouldn't have interrupted me at all. And stuff like that. That's real cool to me.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that shows you're doing good things though.
Right. Yes.
So, I mean, if you're anytime in New York, you don't want to be stared at too much.
That's right.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's just about having good fun and spreading the good word. And,
I
can't beat it.
will say this, for as a religion, I am Baptist. My dad is a preacher. My brother, I got a brother that's a preacher. I got another brother that's more of a deacon. So I'm the only one. Well, no, me and Cedric. I got one brother right up under me. Me and him is the only one that ain't really in church like they are. They are. I got one brother that's actually pastor of church, and they actually have had their own singing group. They can sing out of this world. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wish I could do some of the stuff they do.
Are they on your case because you're not going enough?
Yeah, one of them do. One of them stay on me.
So real quick, I mean, we're getting close to, a little over our hour time. But real quick, let's touch on the faith and your background in the faith. What does it take to, on the show, not to get wrapped up in all the stuff and still have, show your faith through all that?
Well, it is very, very hard. Very hard. I mean,
not to swear.
Yeah, I slip up. I slip up. I got some people around me that makes you slip up.
Yep.
That's understandable.
Yeah, I slip up, but I try to do right and live right. I've been that person that didn't do right, and that now that I try to live my life every kind of way I can, 100% straight. And the way I look at it, if I don't want nobody else to do it to me, I don't want to do it to them. So with that being said, yeah, I try not to do any swearing and doing on there, but man, sometime I do.
I often say though, if God didn't want you to say certain words, he wouldn't have made you smart enough to think about them. But I'm horrible because I grew up in playing sports with locker rooms, and I work construction now for 25 years. And it's pretty much a daily thing. And it's like, there's a colorful adjective that is part of every tool. Get me the saw, get me the drill. There's always something colorful about that. And I try not to. And it's a bad habit. And I go, as much as I say, I wish I could stop, it just comes out the next day. But everybody always says it's funny because even like on the podcast here, when I get in front of my customers, I can be sitting in my van talking to the guys like just buddies, and the words are flying. And the minute my phone rings and I get on the phone with the customer, I'm a completely different person, And my dad, I could tell you, in his 55 years he lived, I think I heard him. Now there's shit and damn, those are two minor words, but the biggies, I only heard my dad say one big F word my whole life.
Yeah.
And I asked him that one time. I said, man, you never swear, even when you're not, out in the garage, you stub your toe or hit your hammer or on your thumb or something. And well, he was a shop teacher. He says, if I swear, he says, if I might get a point to swear when I'm not working, I'm going to accidentally swear in front of the kids, and I can't do that. So he never swore. My grandpa, on the other hand, never swore. Though I lived with my grandfather and my grandma during the summertime. So I was Lutheran during the school year, and I was Catholic in the summer. So it was kind of like Lutheran, but there was a when you go from being Lutheran, sitting still, to being Catholic, it's just like calisthenics. That's all,
Right.
That's all it is. But my grandpa never swore. But when I came home after my freshman year of college, I got done playing football, and I go to see him, and he starts swearing in front of me, like the big words too. And I was like, Grandpa, you don't swear. He goes, look. And he had a cigarette, and he was drinking a beer and tomato juice. And he goes, look, he puts the glass down. He goes, I promised your grandma I would wait till you were out of high school to swear in front of you. He says, I can say anything I want now, so don't stop me. So I'm like, okay. So
the only person I got around me that I have never heard a cuss word out of is my boss, Kenny Ford.
Okay.
Not a word. I don't care how I've seen him get upset. But yeah, I've never heard him say a word.
That's cool.
It sure is.
I wish I had more restraint on, and
I don't have it. If I get mad enough, yeah, I ain't gonna say no bad, but I'm mad.
See, well, I'm the guy that other people's wives go, man, ever since you started hanging around that Craig, your language has gotten horrible. So, Dan's trying not to laugh at that right now, because I know that's already come up a little bit. But Eric, man, it's been absolutely cool and chill talking with you tonight.
We'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. I'll have to pay more attention when I get time. Everybody goes, I don't have time. I honestly don't sit and watch TV, so I'm always podcasting or watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. So even today, knowing that you're coming on, I tell us, I binge watch like 3 episodes so I could get a feel and know who I'm talking.
Right.
That way I knew I wasn't going to be sitting talking to a 5'2" skinny white guy. I had to know who I was looking at here, So
yeah, well, that's right. Well, it'll be on tomorrow. Tomorrow night,
9 p.m.
9
Central
p.m.
time?
Central. Yep. 10 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern. Yep.
all right. So now we asked you barbecue question before I leave. What's your drink of choice in the South?
Sweet tea.
There you go.
So y'all think y'all up north, y'all think that's nasty.
No. I like
Okay.
I like sweet tea. I don't drink so, as you guys would say, soda. I don't drink pop anymore. We call it pop up here because this is Minnesota.
Yeah. See, I lived in Indianapolis, Indiana. See, and when I come down here, when I started calling it pop, everybody looked at me like I was crazy.
Yep.
Yep, sure
Yep.
did.
No, and because there's parts of the United States that call it cola. I've never called it a cola, So I like that regional learning curve, of what people do. But I had to ask you because now, obviously, I like a sweet tea. I went to Texas last year, visited Joey Truelove, who is one of our other co-stars, not on tonight, and he's drinking 2-3 sweet teas a day, And I like that. I just got to stop being lazy because when I do have it, I buy it, and I think it's always better when you make it yourself.
Man, let me tell y'all before y'all go. I don't even get it like this no more. But my grandmama used to take the sweet tea, put the bags in it, and she would sit it out there in the sun and just let it sit there. And when she come in and put it in the ice and everything, man, that was the best tea I ever had. And I don't even never hear nothing like that no more. But what I did learn, when you go up north, you ask for Coca-Cola, you do not ask for sweet tea. Because it don't taste the same.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's you got a lot of truth there. So, and that's, honestly, that's everywhere you go now. Like, I don't know if you're a drinker or not a drinker, but if you had to go out and have a drink with the guys, do you have a mixed drink or something down there? What's your favorite to have?
I like I hate it. It's a strawberry daiquiri. I can drink that, but I ain't no drinker at all.
Yeah.
I don't like beer. I don't even know how anybody can get drunk. I don't like the way it tastes.
I always have 2 cases of beer in my garage, but I use it for barbecuing. Because I brine my chickens and stuff with it. I probably only drink maybe 3 beers a year because somebody comes over and you're sitting outside, have a beer with them.
The the only time I can drink a beer if it's 100 degrees outside and it's just hot. And then it don't taste too bad.
No.
If it's a good cold one.
It's got to be out of a foam cooler filled with ice and ready to go. And that's about the only way you can do it. So
there you go.
That's good. But I do like the sweet tea. I even tried to do the unsweetened tea and just add a little bit because I'm trying to watch my weight a little bit.
Yeah. I've been watching mine and it started getting away from me.
It'll do that.
But I'm getting ready to have to do better too. I gotta go to a heart doctor tomorrow because my blood pressure been up a little bit. So I'll tell you what, this started with me, and Daniel knows, and I started tracking my blood pressure because they've been after me for a few years to get on some blood pressure medication. I'm like, no, I work out every day. I work outside. I'm healthy. And last year I went to give blood and donate blood at the Red Cross, and they wouldn't take my blood because my blood pressure was too high. And it was like 197 over 148, something like that. Oh, wow. Yeah. I ain't made it. I ain't been like that, but yeah.
Yep. And so I was like, oh my goodness. And so I finally got put on some stuff last year, and I've actually been weaning off of it. And like yesterday, my blood pressure is 120 over 65. So I was like, okay. Yeah. But I go, okay, it's time to lose weight. I lost 40 pounds last year, try to eat right. And that's one of the reasons I had to buy a cow, because I hadn't eaten much meat all year because I was, salads and chicken. Even though chicken's meat, it's not real meat, And so doing all that, but it's all about the blood pressure, man. It's got to keep the ticker in shape, because if you got that kid racing, you don't need your heart stopping watching them.
No. So I got to get on top of it myself. I ain't been up that high, but yeah, I got to get checking.
Very cool, man. Very good.
Yep.
Eric, I got to say, your story about the dirty dart, that to me tells me about the quality and the abilities that you and your group have to put a car together and make it work.
Thank you. Yeah, I got some very talented guys around. I got some very, very talented guys around me. I mean, between all of them, we can just about do anything we want to a car.
That's awesome. So in closing tonight, is there, any one thing that, you want to put out there, for other people to know, like to inspire them or get them, on to building, or is there, a sponsor or somebody that you need to thank?
Yeah, well, man, I got so many sponsors, man. I just don't even know where to even start. But my main ones is Nitrous Express, Quick Performance, Precision Turbo, Total Seal, King Bearings. Gotta thank Performance Torque Converter. They are my number one because I have to work there, and he lets me off work to do all his filming.
All right.
There's so many more that I can't even think of right now, but I want to thank everybody that helps me.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you being on this week and joining us. Craig, thank you for joining and helping hosting. And I want to say thank you to my dad, Dave, for being here. First time on the podcast. I think we'll have him on another time or two here and there.
I think Dave's got to eat. Dave's got to eat a little bit. He looks thin on and off.
Well, it's only been 2 years since they worked on my heart, so I'm still recovering.
Yep. But you're fading in and out. You got to have some electrolytes in you. There you go.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me. Anything I can do for y'all let me know. I would definitely be coming back on. We do something a little bit.
Well, maybe we can. Yeah, maybe we can get a couple other people from the show on and have a little bit of a round robin conversation. So
I would love to do that.
So anyways, I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. Thank everybody for watching, everybody that's here and there. And that will do it for us this week. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everybody. Have a good one, and we will see you next time.
See y'all later.
Have a good day.
All right. Thank y'all.
You bet. Thanks, Eric.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Try 5 Talk with your hosts Daniel Check, Craig Westpenning, Joey Truelove, and a special thank you for our background designer Chad Reynolds, and a special thank you as well for our production analyst Joe Miller. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time.